Help to devastated Derna has dramatically stepped up in the past 24 hours. It follows criticism from residents that it's taken too long to arrive and been chaotic and uncoordinated. Now Libyans are facing another crisis, the possible outbreak of disease. So they're handing out masks. And there's frantic spraying of streets with disinfectant. There are potentially thousands of decomposing bodies still encased in mud or buried under rubble. The water is heavily contaminated and the risk of infection is high. So Libyans from all across their fractured country are trying to help.
You try and describe everything, but you're lost for words. You're lost for words. Like, it's an absolute catastrophe.
This is for our country, this is for our home, so we will do everything and everything we can do for our home.
But the frenzied attempts to help have clogged up the main route into the city's gutted centre.
But even with the increased activity and extra resources being thrown at this issue, this shows you just how big the problem is. This didn't exist before. It was a tiny trickle of a stream if there were lots of rain and showers. Now there's a massive big scar right through the town, and all the buildings on either side have actually been flattened, taken away, or left destroyed.
The Libyan National Army, headed by the military strongman Khalifa Haftar and his sons, has been accused of using the disaster to exert further control over the east. His commandos were anxious to show us their efforts to help, after being widely condemned for focusing on bolstering their power here rather than distributing humanitarian aid. The youngest Haftar son could be the next man in charge here. He's happy for us to film him shaking hands with soldiers from the west. The two opposing armies control opposite sides of the country and have fought a protracted civil war. General Saddam Haftar is head of the Disaster Response Committee, in charge of organising international aid teams, many of whom have told us of the struggle to get access, but he was reluctant to talk about his role.
I see lots of people who need help for electricity, water, aid, everything. Has there been a big enough international response, or you just don't want the international response?
Everything's fine for now, he tells us. Everybody's searching now and we're ready for help. But he's a man with a reputation for toughness and doesn't seem to want to answer much more.
There's a lot of criticism that it could have been prevented by the Libyan authorities. What's your view on that?
But he gives that short shrift. All is okay, he says. I have no criticism. His key role in East Libya means he and his family are also in charge of the aid distribution and any inquiry into what went wrong. Right now, the Haftar-controlled troops are on a charm offensive with us. They want to hammer home their dedication to the people of East Libya and how they're trying to find and retrieve the victims of this huge disaster.
We're here and helping retrieve the dead bodies. May Allah help us and may Allah help Libya. All of us are brothers and the guys are here and we're ready to give everything, even if that costs us our lives.
The Derna coastline is thick with debris, so much so you can walk on the water. It's littered with the battered remnants of barely recognizable vehicles. Terrified families had been racing to drive their way out of the torrent, but their shattered cars show they stood little chance in the face of such force. And divers are still 1 week on, finding hundreds of bodies trapped beneath. And fear there are still many more. Alex Crawford, Sky News, Derna.